Hi, my name is Joel Matthew, UR15CS177 from Carnegie University, and today I'm going to be explaining my ninth experiment from Networking Lab, which is for IP version 6. Till now, whichever experiments which we have done were for IPv4, and the IPv4 has a limitation that now it is being full. All the IPs, usable host IPs, are being used up, so we had to upgrade to IP version 6. So the main difference between version 6 and version 4 is that in version 4, as you may remember, we had 4 octets, but in IP version 6 we have 8 hextets, which means that we have 8 groups in which each group has is given by 16 bits, denoted by 16 bits. So to denote those 16 bits, we used 4 hexadecimal numbers for each group. So this is just a this network is actually an example of version 6 uh, configuration. So as you can see, we have 60 here we have allocated 64 bits to the network part, and that means 64 is for host part portion. And in this we can do subnetting, but it's not actually necessary, as we have so many usable hosts still left. And as you can see, you may find that this network IP is so long and really difficult to remember, but over here I have made it shortened. So how I did this is like, there are two things you can do to shorten a IP. So first rule is to get rid of all the leading zeros, which means in each group, if it leads with a 0, then we can get rid of it. So here we can get rid of these zeros, and so these are all the leading zeros. And the second rule is that if we have consecutive zeros in consecutive groups, then we can denote them using double colons. So we can actually get rid of all these. And now, as you can see, I have shortened the very long network IP into such a small one. And this we can do for all the other IPs as well. I have already done it. So this is the network IP for this LAN, and similarly I have allocated network address for all the other LANs and WANs. So this is my topology. And in this, how we are supposed to configure each router and each of the end devices for IPv6 is by, yeah, first of all, when we connect a router, we have to switch it off, and we have to get rid of all the ports and put HWIC, this port. We'll get it here, and we have to put it in one of the ports, and then we have to switch it on. Then for configuring each to assign IP to each of the systems, we have to just go to config and to the port, and go to version 6, and here we have to just type the IP address for the system, and the subnet as well. And then over here we can put the gateway for the version. So this is fairly simple and really similar to v4. And one more thing to remember is that till now we were using only generic routers, but for version 6 we are not allowed to use generic routers. So here I have used the 1941 router for my configuration. And we can use any routing protocol actually, but here I have used RIP next gen protocol. So we can use static routing or OSPF version 3, and any of the other any of the other supporting routing protocols for version 6. So uh, we have to route this router for RIP version next gen. So what I have done is gone to each router. For version 6, the router does not recognize the connected networks immediately. So for that we have to give this command in the global configuration mode, which is IPv6 unicast routing. Once we do this, it will recognize the connected networks, and then after to bring it to RIP version next gen protocol configuration mode, we have to just put IP version 6 router RIP, and here I have given the name Cisco, but you can give any other name. But we have to use the same name for all the other commands as well, so be sure to remember this whatever name you give here. So I have given here Cisco, and then we have to go to we have to access each of the interfaces. So we have Giga Ethernet here, and then after that we have to put IP version 6 RIP Cisco enable. So whatever name you give, and then enable that port. And similarly we have to do for serial port as well. So this is for actually the first router, and then we have to do for each of the other routers. So by giving these commands, we have fully configured this network. So to check if you have configured the routers properly, we can just go to the router and just exit once, and we have to go into the privilege mode in the command line interface of the router, and then just type show IP version 6 protocols. So when we do this, it will just show all the connected and how it is connected, all the protocol, what all protocols we have used, so and which all are the interface being used, and it looks alright here. So let's just try to ping any two systems. So as you can see, it's connecting, and let's try some other system, and again it is connecting. So as you can see, it is, we can connect to any network, and again it is successful. So the configuration is complete. I hope that this video was helpful for you. Thank you for listening to me.